Hello, people. What is going on this Thursday? Sun is shining, birds are tweeting, and there is news, views, and all sorts of stuff happening in the West Ham world. Before I get started, please do smash a like on the video. It goes a long way. Subscribe to E20 Zone TV. Hit the notification bell for any videos that I do or the boys do in the near future. Right, let's get into this. Big Shaq could possibly be coming to West Ham. Now, never saw this one coming. I just see say an hour ago from West Ham Football turn around saying that it isn't true. It's from a sort of other source and all that. But I'm going to look into it that it could possibly be true. What a good marketing tactic it is for West Ham to bring in that guy. He's worldwide known. He's a person that he's very rich. He's got about a net worth about 400 to 500 million. Yeah, but it's not him; it's who he knows. Right, and if you've got 5 or 10 Shaqs as investors, then West Ham are going to be a very, very rich club. Listen, I've watched a few interviews with him. I do follow basketball. I'm a bit of a basketball fan. I remember him from the late like mid-90s and everything, and the LA Lakers and everything like that. And what I like about it, he's a very humble geezer. He's come from like poor background and he's built himself up. And he obviously come over to West Ham and liked what we was doing. Now, I'd love to know what game he come over and watched, because apparently we was shit last year. Right? Do you know what I'm saying? So if he's come over and watched the Bayer Leverkusen game when we was at home and we were smashing them to bits in the first half and we just couldn't score, then it works well for us. But I don't remember what game he come over and watched. So listen, I'm not going to get overhyped about it. I'm not going to go mad about it, but I'm going to be honest. It could be a good thing. It really could be for a marketing strategy, right? To bring this geezer over here, and he's an influence, like to sports. Do you know what I'm saying? I remember an interview he done where he like Joe, like your cameras on your like Ring doorbell. He had a chance to invest into that, and he blew it out, and it blew up, didn't it? Right? Do you know what I mean? Massive. So, um, I do like it. I do like the sort of idea of bringing him in, yeah, as a marketing aspect. And as I say, he could be a face of something where that could lead on to other people investing in West Ham and then potentially taking over. There's always someone richer, and it is what it is. Let's get to your comments. Let's have a look. West Ham skint United. Do you believe that we need to sell one of our big assets like Kudus in order to rebuild? 100%, mate. Been saying it for ages. Been saying fear that one of the big hitters are out the door. Now, people look at me like I'm negative. Oh, you're against Steidten and all this shit. I'm not against Steidten at all. Yeah, and they've got to get it in their fucking Swede that I'm not against this geezer. Yeah, I want this geezer to do well, but I do fear that we might have to sell someone in order to recuperate the money. Let's be honest. We all thought that Paqueta was out the door. Right, we all believed that. Yeah, and come the end of May, right, when Man City game was done, we all said, right, that's it, Paqueta's going. A week later, he gets done for betting. So who knew? Do you know what I'm saying? For me, why are we skint? That's the $1 million question, right? It's not if we're skint, it's why are we skint when we're supposed to be the 16th richest club on the planet? Right? It doesn't make a lot of sense, if I'm being honest. I'm not gonna lie. Leon, hope you're good, man. Hope you're good wherever you are. Usual suspect, turning the club into a brand, customers, not supporters. Be careful what you wish for. Said it for a long time, man. Said it for a long time. As I said the other day on the video I done, and I spoke about it on the Have Your Say with Lucas the other day. Yeah, many years ago, few people told me, said, James, I'm telling you, West Ham will become a franchise over there. They will build it up into a franchise, and that's what it is now with West Ham. It's a franchise. It's not that community club anymore. It's not the club that we all remember from the Upton Park days and the times of like community spirit sort of thing. That's dead in the water now. West Ham now is a franchise, and it's proven it really. It's all about the pound though, and basically the fans, the supporters who have backed this club through thick and thin, are now classed as customers. And what you take out one, you can replace with another one, and that's what it is. Do you know what I mean? So it's a shame, but I've been saying it for years, man. I've been saying it for years. Um, Afternoon, James. Interesting news, but till I see pen to paper, the but we'll see. Listen, with the Shaq thing, I understand that. I will get on to other things in a minute, but if it does come off, then that's what it's all about. It's all about the best for West Ham. Why are we sort of screaming out for investors when we're supposed to have one already? Is a big question that needs to be answered. Like, what's Kadinsky doing other than buying Royal Mail? It doesn't look good, does it? Let's be real. Right, it really don't. So, right, let's get to this. Hi, James. Let's get Jonathan David in for Peach, mate. Best wishes from Thailand. I hope you're well down out there in Thailand, Bangkok. I'm going to speak about him now as it goes. Mr. JD, Mr. Jonathan David. David for 25 million. For me, 100%. Been saying it for years when he was at Lille. Sorry, not Leon. Get the geezer in. I have so many arguments on spaces with people who just can't accept that this geezer's a decent player. I've even got a Canadian who's on the space who says, James, he's not as good as what you think he is. He's shit, right? For me, for 25 mil, I think he's a decent player. I really do. I've been saying it for a long time, and I've been saying West Ham, go and get this geezer out of Lille. Do you know what I'm saying? Now there is a possibility. Man United are involved, Chelsea involved, Spurs, West Ham, usual suspects basically. But for the fee and for what he brings as a centre forward, he's sort of player that he's an 18-yard box striker. That's what we need. We need someone who's gonna. We need the width from the sides, and then him as the 18-yard box striker who can pick up the pieces. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm all over this. All over this. Absolutely all over it for 25 mil. Yeah. And we need a centre forward at this club. Now, if you've got a choice between Jonathan David or El Naziri, I'm going for David all day. Do you know what I mean? He's only, 24? I think he is, if I've got that right. So go and get him. Make it happen. Get the job done. Now, his agent, I think it is, was an ex-West Ham player, if I'm correct on this, or someone who's advising him was an ex-West Ham player. Now, that might help the deal. Do you know what I'm saying? And West Ham could be a springboard for this geezer to go on to a bigger club after that. But we need to buy. We need to get this geezer. We need to buy this geezer, get it done, dusted, and I'll be happy then. As a supporter of this club, I'll be happy if we can get a centre forward in. Yeah, because we need a centre forward. All I keep seeing is West Ham getting linked with loads of wingers. Yeah, and not many centre forwards. So I'm all for it. Let's see what you've got to say on this. Right, need to bend the FAR rules like clubs and sell the youth players for 30 mil, buy one for 30 mil, and it goes into your account. Yeah, I agree, mate. I agree. Woodsy, I hope you're good, man. Hi, James. Jonathan David for 25 is perfect business. His pace would suit us so well. I agree. I agree. And I have this argument, as I say, on spaces. And I don't know why I do the spaces, but I do them because I'm a very passionate person. I like to speak to other people who are very passionate. I don't get why people are not on board with it with the David thing. I really am not. Do you know what I'm saying? When I look at Danny Ings, for instance, for 18 million, and this geezer's 7 million more, and he scored goals in France for years. Like, do you know what I mean? It ain't like he's had one good season. He's had consistent seasons over there. He's played Champions League. He's played Europa League. He's a good player, man. I don't understand what it is, but it is what it is. I do not believe we have to sell any big hitters, as I believe Sullivan thinks a squad of 20 is plenty for us this season without Europe, and saying we are skin is a way of spinning this. I disagree, mate. I disagree. Yeah, because what I'm seeing on that, good comment from Ricky, yeah, is that I'm not seeing anyone going yet of any value, if that makes sense. I'm not seeing a Ben Rama's not been sold yet. Kerr's gone, but he was peanuts anyway. So we're going to have to start selling some players if we're going to get this budget up. Do you know what I'm saying? The Mo thing is an interesting one because the release clause that people were saying was next year. Someone come out and said it's this year. As he's got a release clause when people said he hadn't got a release clause. If someone really wants Mohamed Kudus, and just for argument's sake, Liverpool decide to sell one of their big hitters to Saudi, they will pay the 85 mil for it. Do you know what I'm saying? Well, we need to keep these big hitters at the club, but We shouldn't be skint. I don't get that. Like, I don't get how you go from 6th, 7th, 14th, winning a trophy. Fair enough, you finish 14th, but you win the trophy. That sort of springboards West Ham into the whole of the world. You finished 9th last year, and we haven't got a pot to piss in. It just doesn't make a lot of sense, if I'm being honest. Like, and that's the argument that I have. Like, why are we in that situation, so to speak? So, um, right, let's get that off, and I'll get to your comments. Let's have a look. We've got this one. Can we take Kadinsky for face value? If he wanted to be serious, then he would have committed more to West Ham than Sparta. Or he's just using the post of his foot in the door syndrome. I agree on that. I agree on that. I really do. Like, Kadinsky doesn't really get a lot of mention. Sullivan gets a lot of mention, and rightfully so. But the problem is with Sullivan is he's the main man. He has the final say on everything, doesn't he? We all know that. Like, Kadinsky is a investor. He's not got any influence on anything. Do you know what I mean? So the only influence that he had, and I will say this, and people don't believe that, but believe what they like. I've got Ben Johnson right. I've got fucking Lopetegui right. You have a believer or you don't. Yeah. But Kadinsky was the one who got Steidten here. He was the one who said, like, we need to get this man here. And he was the one who was calling in for it after the Leicester game a couple of years ago. When we lost to Leicester and went off to the World Cup, I think it was 2022, I think it was, memory serves me right. Then that's what it was. Do you know what I'm saying? So you can thank him for that, but there are Lukaku rumours today, or is it just pie in the sky? Could his wages be in our budget? Not for me, mate. Not for me. Like, you want a striker who's able to score goals. Now, this is what doesn't make sense to me with people. Yeah, we've got Jonathan David who scores loads of goals, and we've got Lukaku who can't hit can't hit anything. Do you know what I mean? Like this, even this Euros, he's tried to score goals. He's either been offside by millimeters or he just ballooned them over the bar in key positions. Not for me. Lukaku 5 years ago, yeah, very, very good player. Not now. Not now. His attitude's a bit all over the gaff. I want young, up and coming players, yeah, who have got a potential to sell on value. Lukaku hasn't got that. Jonathan David has. Jonathan David comes to West Ham for 25 million and he scores 15 goals in the first season. Yeah, a team could come in for 45 and say, right, we're taking off your hands. Yeah. And that's what it is. It's got to be the buying and the selling thing. Do you know what I'm saying? But I don't want that to happen every single year that we have to sell our best players. That's the only problem. So, we will make roughly 100 million selling all our players, and that's not wanted. One out, so a big boy will go. I think that's my fear, man. That's my fear. I've said it a few weeks ago. I'm fearing that either out. I don't think Bowen goes. I don't think Bowen goes at all. Yeah, I think Bowen's committed to this club, and I think he's the sort of lad that will stick by his promise of staying at West Ham. So I don't see Jared Bowen leaving at all. Yeah, the one that does me is the Kudus one. Yeah, because the release clause is there, and it's one of them ones where what do you want to do with this geezer? Do you want to sort of? I mean, as I just write this out, hold on, let me just do this. Otherwise, I'm in stuck. Let's go that. Let's go that. Let's go that. Yeah, do. Yeah, basically, with the Kudus thing, he's a key player to us, but there's a possibility of selling him for 85 mil. It shouldn't be like that, West Ham really shouldn't, but it always is, isn't it? We need 6 to 8 new players for the first team squad. 150 million won't buy that in today's market. Now, I was having a debate with someone the other day about centre halves. Yeah, and I'm seeing this thing for Kilman for like 45 million. Yeah, do not understand the Kilman one. I really don't. I understand it's Lopetegui's man. He wants him and all that, but from a business aspect, 45 million for Max Kilman just doesn't scream, wow, what a signing. Yeah, well, not when I look at other centre halves who could come in and one, we could develop over a period of time and then sell for a lot of money. And two, I don't see a 45 million player in Max Gilman. I'll tell you the reason why I do see a 45 million pound player in Max Gilman. This is my own personal opinion. It's because Maidenhead have got a 25% sell-on clause in his contract. So when Max Gilman went now, basically anything they get like 25%. So that's why the Wolves are pushing the fee up. So Maidenhead get their dough, and obviously, they get paid and all. So I can understand why the market's going up. I was going to get to this before I get to your comments, and this is one of the other players that has been mentioned, Jaden Philogene. I think if that's pronounced. To hoe we go for Jaden Philogene. Now, for me, yeah, decent, very, very decent player. Right, I liked him. Yeah, I watched a bit of Hull towards the back end of the season because that was on TV quite a lot. And I watched this kid in action. Now, as a winger and someone we need on the left hand side, he could do a job. Easily do a job for us. Yeah, Barcelona are looking at this kid, so obviously Barcelona are no mugs. For me, between 15 and 20 million for this kid is gold. Yeah. Somerville at Leeds is the one everyone says that we should go and get. I understand that, but we ain't going to pay the money that Leeds want. Yeah. And was it between 30 and 40 million, I think Leeds want for him. So we've always done good business with Hull. We've signed, obviously, Bowen come from there. And look how Bowen's turned out. I would go to Hull and I'd get Greaves and Jaden out of there. Jaden's a London born man. He's from Hammersmith, West London, and obviously he went to Villa as a youth player, and Villa sort of let him go to Hull, and he sort of worked his way through and up from Villa to Hull, basically. I'm all over this one. All over this one. If West Ham can get this geezer in, I'll be all happy for this. This is a signing West Ham should be going for, and not a Wilfred Zaha. Like, do you know what I mean? I'll get Zaha in because like it's a name. Fuck the name. Yeah, this geezer is 22 years old and he's got time to develop. Yeah, he's already decent now for Hull. So what would he be like with better players around him, better coaching, and a better sort of philosophy? Go and get him out of Hull, mate. You know what I mean? And we, as I say, we do good business with Hull. They've always sort of give us sort of good sort of reports on players. And yeah, listen, I'm all for this one. I don't know what your thoughts are in the chat. Let me know. Let's get back to the chat. Right, let's go. If we sign Kilman for 35 plus mil, I'll be confident we have more cash than reported. I don't know. On the Kilman one, I don't know because it feels like to me that people basically, it feels like to me that people are happy to go with 3 centre halves next year. Yeah, which I don't believe is correct. I think you have to have 4 centre halves. If you're playing a back four, you have to have 4 centre halves and not 3. Now, the reason why I say we need 4 centre halves because basically O'Bonner's gone. Yeah, he's been released. Now, obviously, we've got Zuma and Aguerd in there. Now, basically, both of them need to go. Yeah, because what do you do in that situation? Do you Zuma's on the last year of his contract? Do you offer him a new deal? Because you're going to have to offer him a new deal, or we're going to have to run his contract down, let him go for free. Now, West Ham can't keep letting players go for free. That's one thing they can't do, right? So you either offer him a new deal or you sell him this summer. Aguerd, it just doesn't want. He's just not on it. He hasn't been on it for the last 6 months, 6 to 9 months, in fact. And all of a sudden, he's fit to play for Morocco, but he's never fit to play for West Ham. Yeah, I think you have to take anything between 25 to 30 to get him out the door. Yeah, even if you have to take a loss on him, you're going to have to take a loss on him just to get him out. Now, you sell both of them players, you bring Max Kilman in. Yeah, we still need two centre halves at the club, and people are saying about bringing Casey up. Says who? Like he's had what 1 game, 2 games. Like you can't throw these kids into the firing line and hope they're going to do it. For me, yeah, we need 2 centre halves. Yeah, Ben Johnson's gone now. We need a right back. Like the defence needs a lot of work doing to it. And I think 45 mil, because people say, oh, we're going to get him for 35 mil. I can guarantee it, yeah, Wolves will not sell him for 35 mil, especially with that 25% sell on clause that Maidenhead United have got. It just ain't going to happen. Like, do you know what I'm saying? They'll be mad. So they've got to give what? They've got to give, what's that, 7 million, 8 million to Maidenhead? they're going to want to recuperate that back all day long. So, let's have a look what we've got. What about Yonto from Leeds? Never been a fan, mate. Never been a fan of him, ever. Like, for me, I just look at him, another one with a bit of an attitude. Yeah. And when we was linked with him in the January window, I'm not on it at all. Just not on that vibe. I think you can find better. I think there's players there who are cheaper and better than him. Jaden being one of them. So no, not for me, man. Biggest problem we have as a club is we have eight homegrown players. If rumours out there are true, yeah, I know, mate. The situation with Ben really has gone like up, down, up, down. Now, I said it last night, and I said it the other day on a video that I done with Ben. People are sort of saying he's gone for football reasons. I disagree. I think if the money was right at West Ham, he stays at West Ham. So basically, he's gone where the money's right for him, and that's it. Do you know what I mean? Wherever you go in any line of work, you go first thing you think about is the money. You know what I mean? You think about, right, is the money right for me here or not? And I understand that the kid wanted to go and do like our first team football. I get that. But West Ham offer him a 5-year deal. Flad leaving next year. Flad's going next year. That's a fact. There's no way West Ham are gonna sell him this window. And there is he'd be better off running his contract down because basically he's on peanuts as it is, yeah, and letting him go for free rather than trying to get him out the door for like two to 5 million. Like it's ain't gonna happen. So for me, you could have waited a year, like he's waited many other years. Could have waited another year, and then he's free reign to be our right back for the next 4 years. Obviously, that wasn't to be. It's getting worrying now with all the holes in our squad. I agree. I do agree on that. For me, I need to the next signing. Obviously, we've signed Guilherme, we've signed Forrington, the goalkeeper. I need to see centre halves now. Yeah, two of them at least. I need to see players coming in that we genuinely need. Do you know what I mean? Did we really need a third choice goalkeeper? Really? When we got youth players there, you got Fab there, you got Areola. Yeah, not for me. Yeah, but obviously the window's still going strong. Now, I understand what people are saying about, oh, it's early in the window, you've got time and all that. But in 3 weeks' time, yeah, if I've got this correct, not this, yeah, on the 20th of July, pre-season starts. West Ham United versus Dagenham and Redbridge first game. And then the boys go to America for a pre-season tour. Now, if you're signing a centre half at the club, if not two, you want them in before pre-season starts. Now, 3 weeks is a long time. Let's be real. Like things could happen, turn around in 3 or 4 days. So I'm not going to get giddy over it, but we do start needing to see players that we actually generally need. Yeah. Otherwise, this tells me one thing that the centre halves ain't going nowhere. Yeah, there you've got three centre halves there still currently right now. If he brings Kilman in as four and he keeps it as a four. Now, if he does do that, and Aguerd decides to stay, and Zuma decides to stay, and you've got Mavropanos and you've got Kilman, then fair enough. I'm all over that because I think it is what it is. But I I think West Ham need to generate funds, and that's the only way you're going to generate funds. So, we'll see what happens with that. What player do you think Sullivan will pick for West Ham squad? Because all he knows is he will not keep his fingers out of the pot. I see things about Thomas Souček. Now, I'm just going to mention him last night. I thought he was fucking excellent last night. And one thing I'm going to say is us West Ham fans do not appreciate this geezer enough. Now, I've been critical of this geezer, and I'll hold my hands up and say, listen, I got it slightly wrong. Wherever Clive is, like, shout out to Clive. Clive's always backed this geezer up for a long time. But I've watched him a few games now, and I think, fuck me, we have got a really good player there, right? And when you describe a West Ham player of what you want at a West Ham player, it's Thomas Souček. Gives you everything for the shirt, committed, will bleed for this club, like chucks his body away or everything. That's what he is. Yeah, he's not the best player, but we're not the best team. So yeah, like I thought last night, the goal he scored was a big goal. Do you know what I'm saying? He's a captain of his country. And yeah, listen, I think I actually feel for him a little bit because the amount of goals he scored last year, big goals, late goals that won us games. Everton, Burnley, Nottingham Forest, we still give him shit. Why? Like, we still give him shit. Like, and it's just, you know, I think sometimes you just got to lay off the geezer. He's a West Ham. He's a West Ham player. He's here till 2027. You know, if Real Madrid come in for him and want to spend 50, 60 million on this geezer, then fair enough. I can understand letting him go. But why is that West Ham? I think we've got to respect the geezer and go, you know what? That's what we would want out of our players, to give everything. He does. Simply does. James, take care, mate. It's my meditation time in Thailand with my claret and blue tattoo. Fair enough, mate. Do you know what I mean? Shout out to Darren all the way over in Thailand. James, what do you think of Ferran Torres rumours? Won't happen, mate. 30 mil for this geezer. I'll be stunned if that happened. He was all right at City, but really didn't get a fair crack of the whip, did he? Let's be real. So, you know, would I have him? Yeah, I would 100% have him at the club, mate. Like, we need to start seeing some attacking threat at our club. Like, and this is the thing that does worry me. Like, we've gone in for Guilherme, we've got Guilherme, fair enough. I get that. Our bench needs to be sorted out massively. Like, i.e., Ings needs to go, Cornet needs to go, right? I want to see George Murphy on the bench, right? And around the squad next season. Other than that, who else we got? Like, literally, like, when you look at the bench and when you think about the bench in your head, there is no bench. Like, do you know what I mean? And the amount of times and this is one thing that irritated me last season, and especially under the Moyes reign, yeah, is how many fucking times did we fill the bench with two goalkeepers? That is embarrassing. In the modern day game, West Ham having a bench with two goalkeepers on it is just taking the piss. It's just simply taking the piss. So, but the bench needs to be sorted out, and that's a major concern. I'm not going to lie. So West Ham have earned over 300 million. We ain't in Europe next season, but we still need to build a good squad for the next season to compete strongly even in Europe. The following season, if we don't get Europe next season, we could struggle the following season, and we could see us go back to square one. Valid point, Kev. Just reading it all the way through. This is where I don't get when people say the transitional season. Yeah. And if we finish mid-table, that's acceptable. For me, that's not acceptable. West Ham should be finishing top 10. You don't keep the likes of Mo, Bowen, Alvarez at the club if West Ham finish mid-table. Like, it just ain't gonna wash, right? Now, do I want West Ham to be a top 10 side? Absolutely. I absolutely want West Ham to be a top 10 side. Yeah, because that's what we are, right? That's what we should be aiming for. But the acceptance of us finishing mid-table next season, I just don't think it's right. Like, when I look at mid-table, I look at Nottingham Forest, Everton, Bournemouth, Brentford, Brighton. Come on, fuck me. Like, we should be well above these teams, well above them. Do you know what I'm saying? Everton is a interesting one because Everton are a big club. Yeah, they're in a bit of shit in a minute, but it's their final season at Goodison, so I get that aspect. But West Ham should be aiming higher than mid. Like, we're not a mid team. Like, we're a top 10 side, and that's what we should be aiming for. Now, if West Ham finish 10th next season, I'll be happy. I'll be like, fair enough. I can see the aspect of it. I can see where we're going. Yeah, and the following season, Lopetegui has to get Europe, or he's not there. You know what I'm saying? He's got a 2-year deal, and it's going to be interesting to see. But I am nervous. I'm not going to like sugarcoat it. I am nervous about the situation at the minute because I'm seeing many wingers linked with West Ham, and really nothing which is really sort of concrete. Striker wise, you've got El Naziri, you've got Jonathan David. After that, who else is there that's really being linked to West Ham? There's not many other people I can think of on the top of my head. Also, when I look at the defending side of things, like Emerson to AC Milan or going back to Italy, that's a bit of a worry also. Because you take Emerson out of this team, right? Which Emerson, if you're looking at the back line from last year, Emerson was probably the best one out of the back line. Yeah. And if he goes, then what? You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I agree on that, James, but the jury will still be out on Lopetegui as long as he stays long enough. That's also got to be a concern. I don't know, mate. I don't know, right? Because it all depends how much money West Ham spend this summer. For me, if West Ham go out and do blitz and spend, just say let's say 120, West Ham spend 120 million. You sell a few players, you bring a load of players in. When the season comes round, the expectation will be there to say, right, it's time to finish top 10. And I don't think top 10 is a big ask. I really don't. I really don't. Not for the size of the club, the money that we turn over, the money that this ownership wants to fucking extort out of the fans at the minute. Um, for me, top 10's a given. Like I don't. If West Ham finish 14th or 15th, and we've been knocked out of every trophy, possible trophy like competition going, I ain't going to be happy with that. Do you know what I'm saying? Because when you've been to the promised land, and we have been to the promised land, we've been top 10, we've won a trophy. You don't go, oh, we just accept fucking mid table right now because it's a transitional season. Because that's an easy argument to make. Transitional season, like you could say that about Spurs. Spurs get rid of their manager, bring Ange in. They was expecting a rocky road. They end up finishing in the top six. Like, do you know what I mean? No Kane, I expect West Ham to finish in the top 10. And it's like, it seems like I'm asking for the world when I'm really asking for a top 10 finish. I don't think that's really that bad, man, if I'm honest. No, nervous but excited in a way. Brings something new to JLo. Yeah, listen, he's got a free reign, isn't he? Right, and obviously, if the football's good, then we're all going to be happy. If West Ham start playing good football, yeah, but you are going to have to get results with that good football because looking good and playing good and then not getting the results, that will soon turn. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it has to be a collective. You can't have one without the other. And if we can play decent football and get decent results, then we're going to be a decent side. So, how many points do you see us gaining from the first 6 games? How important is it to get off to a good start like we did last season? And this fly's pissing me off. Fuck off. That saved our season. For me, I'm going to be honest. The first 6 games, we've got Villa, Palace, City. I think we need at least 4 out of the first 3. And then we've got all the West London clubs. Fulham away, Chelsea at home. And then we've got Brentford away. I think we need at least 10, 10 points to get off to a good start. Do you know what I'm saying? If we're anything under that, yeah, then it's going to be a struggle. Do you know what I'm saying? And the problem is with West Ham, when West Ham starts slow, it's very rare that West Ham sort of kick into gear and work their way up the leagues. Yeah. So if we can start fast and we can get off to a really good start, then it'd be great. Do you know what I'm saying? But obviously, the personnel needs to be sorted out and sharpish. If I'm being honest. Fresh is saying 18. I wish it was 18, mate. I just don't see it. I think if we get 10 points, I think that's really good. But what I think we probably will end up with is about 7. I don't see us beating. I'll go through it quickly. I don't see us beating City. So Villa at home, first game of the season. Villa are signing some really good players. I could see that probably being a draw. I really can. Yeah, I think West Ham and Villa always ends up a draw at the LS. Very rare that Villa come there and beat us. I will say that. So I'm going to say a draw on that. Palace away, it's just a game we just never win. It's just a game we never fucking win. We always go there. Loads of goals in that game. If you're having a bet, get on the over 2.5 because it's always a lump job on that. But Palace away, Glasner, I'm not convinced on that one. So I'd probably just say I draw on that one at best. So that's 2 points out of the first 3. And then you've got the West London clubs. Now Fulham away, we need to go there, and they took 6 points off us last year and they were shit. I'm gonna be real as a fucking track to those bars. Right? They were shit. But listen, we need to get something at Villa at Fulham. Chelsea at home is always a game West Ham are up for. Every single time. Like every time Chelsea come to town, West Ham turn up. So it wouldn't surprise me if we done Chelsea, yeah. And then Brentford's if Ivan Toney's still there at Brentford, and Brentford's are that sort of team, yet again it's another place that we just don't win. Do you know what I mean? So it's hope we break the curse next year of the Crystal Palace one and the Brentford one, because the Brighton one we sorted out last year. We've got to do the other ones and all. So we go 18 points, get the right targets in, and we are going to surprise people. Top four finish. Not a chance, Fresh. What have you been drinking, son? That's what I'm going to be saying on that. Do you know what I mean? West Ham ain't getting top four, mate. Top 10. Listen, at best. He's usually dominant, mate. Lumps in a big number and lets everyone carry on. Is that what they're doing? Yeah. Three three wins, two draws, and a loss. Yeah. Yeah. Like, obviously, we're going to have to start fast. And, like, because what it is, with the Euros, people are starting to start coming back now. Suchek and Sifal are going to go away now, have their holidays. And by the time pre-season starts, which is in about 3.5 weeks' time, they will be back. So that's a good thing. Yeah. Obviously, Areola's reserve goalkeeper for France. And then obviously you've got Jared Bowen. Now, that's two players out of the mix. Obviously, Antonio, I'm going to speak about him in a minute. He's obviously playing for Jamaica, and they look like they're out of the Copa America already. There were 2 defeats. So, it's one of them ones, really. But I am going to speak about Mikel Antonio. I see him last night play for Jamaica against Ecuador. Unreal first goal from Ecuador, I'm not going to lie. Never saw that one coming. Was it a shot? Was it a cross? No, but who will ever know? But Antonio to score any time was something like 7-1. Literally ridiculous, yeah. And he ends up scoring. I'm glad that he's gone away with his international colleagues. Do you know what I mean? I did go through the Jamaica side, and it is a mixture of League One, League Two. You've got people who play in sort of, one player plays in France, another player plays in sort of Jamaica, and yeah, it's just a complete mix-up. Yeah, but fair play to him. Fair play to him. I see people knocking him for going away with his sort of international career for Jamaica. And listen, fair play to him. We need him fit and firing, and it was a really good goal he scored yesterday. What nice turn and finish. Nice goal. Now, this is the interesting thing for me, is where do you go with him next year? Yeah, because honestly, me and Antonio have been like that, right? When he's on it, I will praise him up. Yeah. Start of the season, he was not on it. Gets injured. He comes back from his injury and he's like a man possessed. He was really good. Like some of the goals he scored, he was fucking massively on it. Do you know what I'm saying? James, I've got to go back to work. Thanks for the stream. Take care, mate. No worries, Tony. I hope you're well, man. Yeah. So with Antonio, right? What do you do with him next year? Do you start him? Is he going to be a starter at West Ham? And this is the thing with the striker front. Yeah, this is where it comes back to like the striker. Do you go with Bowen next year, or do you bring a striker in and put Bowen in his natural position of the right wing? Now, for me, Bowen last season was a breath of fresh air up front. I'm not going to lie. He was someone who could that sort of 3-man attack of Paqueta, Bowen, and Kudus was pretty good. It was even touted as one of the best sort of front threes in the Premier League. Do you know what I'm saying? So, where do you go with that next season? It'd be interesting to see what you think in the comments at below. I saw the link. I don't believe it, mate. I don't believe it. Forest want Antonio back. Not for me. Do you know what I mean? Because 2 reasons, really. And there is 2. First reason, why would you want to go down a grade when you can stay at West Ham, new era, Lopetegui, if I've got this right, wanted him at Wolves, if memory serves me right. And why would you want to go to Forest and be in a relegation battle? I don't understand that one. Do you know what I'm saying? So I just don't believe the Forest thing. I think it's lazy journalism, if I'm being honest. He's ex-Forest. Mikel Antonio could be like second choice at West Ham. Put 2 and 2 together, you got a story, you know what I mean? Arnie, is that grade 2 in 2 months, depending on the player. Yeah, but we will see what happens with that. Anything else that I've forgotten on West Ham recently? I'm just trying to remember anything that's happened. You know what I'm saying? What do you think about Zuma possibly refusing to leave? That's an interesting question, Scott. Um, oh, then we've got a problem, then, haven't we? Do you know what I'm saying? If he refuses to leave, then we're fucked because If that means for two reasons: one, we've got a player that won't leave on his own account or on his own accord, and two, who's really going to buy him other than someone from like Saudi or something? Do you know what I mean? That is the $1 million question. You either offer him a new deal or you let him go, or you just pay his contract up. If I'm honest, but these players have got us to ransom, so to speak. Antonio could extend his career by accepting a role as an impact sub. I think an impact sub for him would be perfect, mate. Imagine Antonio. Imagine having a front three of Kudus, Bowen, and someone else. Just say Jaden, Philogene. Yeah, so you got him on the left. You got Kudus on the right. You got Bowen through the middle. Yeah, that's your front three, right? And then it comes to the 70th minute, and then you bring on Antonio, and you can swap players around. You can move players into different positions and still be quite strong. For me, that is the move. Really, if he goes to Forest, yet again, it's about money. It's not about first choice football. Well, first team football was about money because obviously being at West Ham should be a bigger than Forest. Let's be real. Do you know what I mean? I had this years ago with Forest. Never again. James, it's depressing with that little dwarf in charge. It is, mate. It is. And listen, shout out to the people who are trying to sort out this concession tickets thing for the OAPs and the kids. But I'm gonna be honest when I say it, yeah, the fucking thing is dead. It is dead, mate. I understand the boycott for the game against Celta Vigo on the 10th of August. I get it. I really do. But they ain't gonna do no damage, mate. Like that's like people will go there because it's summer holidays and they just lower the ticket prices and allow people to come there like who are day trippers to a point. Yeah. If you're gonna hit Sullivan, like I always said, you've got to hit Sullivan hard and make it a TV game where there's a mass protest of people walking out. That's what it is. Because then he would have to answer to the media and people would have to answer the question of what's happening. Doing it in a pre-season game, it's just I don't think it's going to have the same impact. But I rate it. I rate them who are sort of behind it and trying to sort it out. Um, but this is for me. I've been like this for 8 years, and these people have been like this for like recently. So I've gone through the mill of it and come out the other side. And I just hope something gives with the ownership of this club. I really do. Do you know what I mean? If you're going to go and get investors, then great, go and fucking get them. Yeah, make West Ham great. If you can't afford to run West Ham and you just want a penny pinch out of it, just fuck off. Just fuck off out of the club. Do you know what I mean? Because we don't need. You're the reason why you've turned West Ham into a franchise. Yeah, that's why it's West Ham London underneath. Yeah, that's why we don't even own our own fucking ground. Do you know what I'm saying? And the thing is, I'll get tired now. I'll keep saying the same thing over and over again. Yeah, but I'm glad people are starting to see it from other people's aspects. Now, I stand back and I applaud them. Well done. Yeah. From afar, I might not say a lot, but from afar, I'm clapping them because I know that they're trying their hardest. And I see people retweeting stuff of different fan channels. This fan channel never gets fucking mentioned, mind. And I'm a fucking person who ain't been for 8 years. But nevertheless, when I look at them and these people are doing it, and I can see it from both sides of the coin. Things go up, then, their prices are going to have to go up. But as I always say, and I've always said this, you don't cut off the bloodline of the youth and you don't mug off the old age pensioners who have been here and dedicated their life to this club. You just don't do it. Do you know what I'm saying? It's just unacceptable. But if you can do it to the locals at Upton Park, at Stratford, it's game on for anyone, isn't it? Let's be real. Um, Earthy Alford gets offered a contract. West Ham doing it Friday, I think. Yeah, I know he's been mentioned with Villa, which is, you know, but West Ham need to get their act together, really, if I'm being honest. But we will see what happens with that. Until David Sullivan goes, we will never go to progress and push on, but I can't see him. I don't think he does go, mate, if you want me to be honest. If you want me to be truthfully honest, and this is what really hurts me because I won't set foot in there until he's out the door. I think he hands it over to his son. I think what he's doing is he's going through it enough, and I think eventually he will hand it over and be like the president of West Ham. That's what I believe will happen. Now, Jack, you either like him or you don't. Now, I think he's all right, but his old man's a bit of a fucking wanker, if I'm being truthfully honest. So if he's anything like his old man, he's no better. But you can't tar him with the same brush. Like you can't judge him because of what his old man's like. So that's going to be interesting to see. But I do think it'll be Jack who takes over the reins. And I think they keep it in the family. Do you know what I mean? Because they're never going to get a club like West Ham ever again. Never. Like, do you know what I mean? Because they haven't got the financial power to go and buy a bigger club than West Ham. So why would you sell it? Do you know what I'm saying? Unless you want to go and do a project somewhere else with a lesser club. Yeah. Let's have a look. 30th of June is going to be like a mini deadline day for the teams in PSR danger. I reckon we might drop a couple of announcements on the 1st of July. I hope so. I hope so, mate. I really do. Like, hopefully we've got deals already done. Do you know what I'm saying? And that's what it's all about, really, if I'm being honest. I want to see deals done at the club. But are they? As I just put this in here, paste that, put that, do that. Um, who knows? Who knows? Uh, we love you, E20. Thank you very much, West Ham. Well, fuck me, he's back. Look who it is. West Ham Live 5. Alf, if you want to come on, I'll just chuck the link in for you, mate. We know that you're in hiding because you're scared of the Moyes outers coming and lynching you from the nearest lamppost, but it's fine, mate. All is forgiven. So, yeah, shout out to Alf. I will say this again, Birmingham fans warned us. They did, mate. They most certainly did. They most certainly did. And we ignored them. So, yeah, there you go, mate. Uh, I bet he would shit himself if the fans stayed away from the games for the kids. Hey, please remember the irons works looking down. I agree, Scott. I agree. And the one thing I will say is like I get the argument with people. Like I see big people who have been in the West Ham world for years, basically, and people who have gone on the pitch and protested and all that. But you ain't going to do the damage on a pre-season friendly. Not on the 6 weeks holiday, mate. Even though I do rate it and I understand it, you need to hit them well when basically West Ham are live on TV. If you imagine it on TV, for instance, and this is the argument. This is where you got to look at the bigger picture because your heart is saying, well, why the fuck am I going to get up if West Ham's 1-0 or West Ham are 2-0 up or 2-0 down and walk away? Yeah, but you've got to look at the bigger picture, and the bigger picture is the sake of the fan base. Do you know what I mean? If you want West Ham to be a franchise and be like every other fucking club, then you sit in your seat, you don't move. If you want to get up from your seat, walk out the door and say, right, we are protesting about this. And Liverpool fans done this years ago about ticket prices. They started getting up and walking out, and on a TV game, and it soon fucking changed for them. Same should be said for West Ham. You know what I mean? I understand the pre-season friendly thing, first game of the new season, pre-season at the LS, but I think live on Sky or PT, you've got 10,000, 15,000 fans walking out. Questions will be asked of why these geezers walking out, why these ladies and kids walking out, why these old age pensioners walking out, and that's the only way you're going to do it. And the one thing that I will say is in the media game, Sullivan does not like it. Does not like it at all, mate. And that's his weakness. Do you know what I mean? That's his kryptonite, so to speak. I've always said that, James. Yeah, I know, mate. We will get there. It seems nothing has changed with Steidten coming in, struggling to keep the youth, unable to scout early, late to targets. I'm going to be honest, mate. I agree. I agree. Like, he's been here now just over a year. Yeah. Now, obviously, Osmond in January didn't work out. Obviously, he's gone out and got Guilherme, fair enough. But you would think, unless we have got targets that are all at the Euros or at Copa America, yeah, you'd think West Ham would be able to do deals. Now, I'm looking at Aston Villa. Yeah, right, currently right now, 3 deals. Two from Juventus and Ian Matson, 31.5 million. They're doing deals, and we're looking at free transfers and fucking Wilfred Zaha. Like the Wilfred Zaha thing, I'm gonna be straight. Like, what the fuck is that all about? Like, there's a Turkish fan who follows me on Twitter. Yeah, shout out to him. He sent me a load of stuff. He said, "Listen, this geezer's done fuck all over in Turkey. Yeah, why would you want him? Like, he's just not all that at all." And it just feels like we're going for the name rather than the ability. Pay the extra money, go and get Jaden out of fucking hole. Simple as that. Do you know what I mean? It's a cheap and cheerful sort of aspect of things. Promised 3 signings before pre-season, and we have 2 non-first teamers at the minute. There you go. And you know what done me? Like, really, really done me is when people say he's the best thing that's ever happened to this club. Best thing. Well, he fucking wants to liven up. He wants to liven up. Rich Sharpish, if he's the best thing since sliced bread, I will say that. It's disgusting how Moyes love to celebrate on Twitter every time some journo claims we failed to sign a Steidten target. They want Steidten and Lopetegui to fail. Disagree, Epic. Do I look like I want him to fail? Do I sit here and say, right, I want Steidten to fail? But he has got to perform. Like, listen, you can't sit there and say, oh, he's done everything great, when we haven't really signed anyone yet. Yeah, and the only time you're going to judge this geezer is probably towards the back end of the window. But at the minute, it is currently the 27th of June. The window's been open, coming up to, what's that, 2 weeks now? I have to start getting some players at the door, mate. Because our pre-season starts in a month's time. Or 3 weeks' time. And let's have it right here. When you are looking at defenders, I don't want defenders coming in a week before we play Aston Villa or a week before we play Celta Vigo. I want defenders who are coming in here whole pre-season with the side, can work on the structure and the tactics and the way West Ham set up and play. Yeah, for everyone. Like, you don't bring players in late in the day, and that's one thing that was supposedly not going to be doing this window. So as every day goes past, questions will be asked. Simple as that. It's going to happen. I need to succeed, or Moyes will be back in January. Nah, Moyes won't be back in January, mate. I still see the stuff about Moyes. It just makes me fucking laugh, really. It's like an ex-bird you just can't get over, isn't it? We will stand up and look at signs wearing the new kit on the release day. Do you know what? It all depends when that is, because that wouldn't surprise me, West Ham. That really wouldn't. Like, that West Ham have a few signings already lined up, some free transfers maybe, or people who are basically running their contracts down to nothing. And yeah, you know, that would be good, wouldn't it? Let's be real. Wilfried Zaha would be the most backward signing ever. Going for an old big name again. Great scouting that. I agree. If we get Wilfried Zaha in, right, then what is the plan? Like, what is the model of West Ham? That's the question that I would ask, yeah. And it's not me hating on anyone. It's simply asking the question: is what is the model? Do you know what I mean? Because for me, Wilf went over to sort of Turkey for what exactly? Do you know what I'm saying? Is that Crystal Palace? Why has he gone to Turkey? What, to play Champions League football? Is that it? Do you know what I'm saying? And they get knocked out in the group stages, or like the round of fucking 32. So, you know, it's madness, mate. I want both Lopetegui to succeed. Lopetegui can do great stuff, I hope, but Timothy gets far too much hype for literally anything. I agree slightly to a point on that. Like, Tim Steidten the fucking walk around the block, and people will say he's done amazing. Yeah, I'll get you on that argument, Alf. I do. With the Lopetegui thing, he's got a job to do. That's it. Like, he's here. He's got to perform for us, and he hasn't done anything to warrant any criticism yet. Do you know what I'm saying? When he arrived, well, days before he was arriving, there was fucking fans on social media wanting him at the door, saying, "Oh, don't get him. Go and get Pochettino." I think it was. Do you know what I mean? So we were going to sack the geezer before we'd even hired the geezer. So that's a new one. But for me, the next 3 weeks tell. 20th of July, ladies and gentlemen, is the first pre-season game. Yeah. And people say, oh, it's only Dagenham and Redbridge. Yeah, I get all that. But the following few days after that, West Ham go to the US of A. Yeah, on a pre-season tour, 2 games. One in Florida and the other one in somewhere else, which escapes me. Yeah. That's when you know if West Ham have got the signings in place. Because if we come to it then and we're still sitting on 2, I'm going to be a bit concerned and think, like, what is going on here? Do you know what I'm saying? Uh, Miranda would be a cracking free transfer. Has been picked for Spain Olympic squad. So, well, fair enough, mate. We'll take whatever we can get. At the minute. How many new sides do you think will start our first game versus Villa? None started against Bournemouth. Well, we've got two in the door. I expect before the first game against Villa, I expect five signings. Like I expect five signings. I expect three players at West Ham with the two originally who's here. If we anything less than that, I just don't think it's right. Do you know what I'm saying? We need a covering right back. Need a lot. Need a lot. And I don't want to sound like a broken record, but it's fucking concerning, man. It is. And I know people say, oh, you've got to give him time and all that. But fuck me, if I want time, I buy a watch. Do you know what I'm saying? There is no time. Like, if Villa can go out and go bang, bang, bang and get free transfer, like three players, two from Juventus and Ian Matson from Chelsea, and get it done within no time, so can West Ham. You know what I mean? Saha sounds like a Sully special. Callum Bloody Wilson sounds like a Sully special. Ryan Session sounds like a Sully special. The only one in that three is Session, where I do look at him and think 24 years old, free transfer, can play all down the left hand side. Slightly he's got a bit of injury problems in the past, but if you can get past that and you can get the player that was at Fulham, then you've got a really good player. Like you've got a decent player. When he was at Fulham, West Ham did look at him, I remember, and obviously Spurs went in there, got him out of there. And I'm going to be honest, he just wasn't for Spurs, if I'm being honest. But for West Ham, as a free transfer, I'll take him all day long. He's a covering left back, covering left wing back, left winger. I get what you're saying on that, Fresh. I do. They're all sick notes. They are. But I do think with him, I'd give him benefit of the doubt. I think he's young enough to get past it. And I think as a covering left-sided player, if Emerson stays and then you've got Sessegnon there, I think you've got a good player there as a backup player. Do you know what I mean? And like you say, if you can get past his injury concerns, then you're good. Um, Alfie, when you coming back to the channel? And the answers are this, people. I'm not sure yet. Alfie's scared, ladies and gentlemen. He's scared. I'm gonna front him out there. He's scared. He don't want to come back because he knows the more his haters will lynch him. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, it is what it is. Do you know what I'm saying? James, would you would have a thought that word free never used anymore. Just that's how it is. Yeah, I agree, mate. Oh, it's in Tampa Bay. Oh, let's get to Richard Stevens. Hi, James. Hope you're well. On the Steidten subject, the board will keep him under a leash, sadly. If things don't happen for us this season, he'll be off to better pastures. Yeah, I know, mate. I know. I know. The only issue I've got with it at the minute is you would think that like there's a plan in place. And I'll tell you what does it is it's the 45 mil for Kilman that just I look at it and I think this is not a this is like I thought when Lopetegui arrived, he was the head coach, and then the director or technical director is the man who goes out and gets all the players that will fit a budget. For me, it's like Lopetegui said, right, I want that player, go and get me that player, pay whatever it costs to get that player. And it's like West Ham are using all their budget for just to keep Lopetegui sweet. Do you know what I'm saying? It's either going to go very well or it's going to go be a disaster. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't think there's an in between on this one. I really don't. Let's get to this. Where are we? Afternoon all. I'm a Tim Stein enthusiast, but the man at the top, David Vince Sullivan, needs to go. Listen, Tim's not done anything to warrant any criticism or praise it at the minute. That's what I'm going to be honest. Like Lewis Guilherme, good signing, but we need more. Like, give me more, like Oliver Twist. Do you know what I'm saying? We need a lot more than just a backup goalkeeper and a fucking like a youth prospect. Do you know what I'm saying? All right, mate. Long time no see. Paul, hope you're well, mate, wherever you are. Uh, Lucas, goalkeeper Jimbo. Great five-a-side zoo on the planet. Buns is unreal. Do you know what? It would be. It would be, mate. I'm going to be honest. Um, let's see what Alfred's got to say again. I am convinced Timothy could re-sign Calvin Phillips, and people would say, "Trust me, it's a different." Now Moyes is gone. Grace, God, Tim. Oh, mate, you don't learn, kid, do you? You know what I mean? No wonder you don't want to come on the channel. Do you know what I'm saying? Fuck me. You still talk the incredible amount of bollocks that you did before, but it is all right, Elf. I've met you. You're harmless. I hope you're well, James. Sadly, yeah, I just read that one. So, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see in the near future. Obviously, Jonathan David, and obviously Jaden, um, they're good players, man. Do you know what I'm saying? But I don't feel like someone said to me the other day on a space, and I do make them right. Yeah, the signings that we're being linked with, they don't feel like a Tim Steidten gem to a point, if that makes sense. Like uh, Jonathan David, West Ham have always been linked with for the last X amount of years. Yeah, so I'm not going to say that's a Tim Steidten signing, but I just can't. We've been linked with him every transfer window ever since I've been doing this channel. Yeah, Jaden, young player, Hull. We've got obviously we bought Bowen from Hull. Maybe, yeah, but for a man who's got German roots, we're not seeing no German players linked with West Ham. None. Yeah, and that's a bit of a concern. That's it is a bit of a concern, but obviously you got to keep the faith. The window don't shut till was it September the 1st? But I swear to God, if West Ham play 3 games and they start doing their business towards the back end of the window, then nothing's changed. Simply nothing has changed. Moyes is gone. Fans need to move on now. I agree on that. I think when people keep looking at him on the TV or the radio, talk sport, they look at him and they have this sort of sense of hatred towards the geezer. Like it's over. It's done. Do you know what I'm saying? The time is now, is done. Do you know what I mean? Buster's in the house. And he says, starting out. Do you know what I'm saying? Right, I'm going to ask a question to the people. Yeah. I just wanted to put it in the comment section there. And I'm going to wrap this video up. Is if you are Steidten out, what has made you like that? And if you are a Steidten supporter, is it more that you are hoping for him to do well, or you think he's already done well? Because I'm going to be honest, I'm going to say this. I look at Steidten as he's a man who's an employee at West Ham, same as Moyes. Yes, I look at the same as Steidten. He's paid to do a job at West Ham United. Well, he's not here for the fucking graces of the club. He's here because he's getting a pound note, and this is his job. Yeah. Obviously, the players we've been linked with, yeah, need to start. I'm not seeing anyone who's wow. I'm not seeing him. I don't even know who he is. Yeah, apart from Lewis Guilherme, yeah, I've not seen anyone else. Now, I think Steidten has to sort of start ramping it up a little bit. Now, is he allowed to ramp it up under the ownership of his club? I don't know. I don't know. So, do you know what I'm saying? If he's being pulled back, then fair enough. Yeah, that's on the owner. But if he's there and he's not doing something, then you've got to ask the question, why he's not doing something. You know what I'm saying? So, right, let's get to him. Stein is an arrogant baby, has a great job on the holiday all the time, and he always does interviews worse than Sully, definitely. Fuck me, Buster, mate. I don't think he's worse than fucking Sullivan, no that. Reports coming out with agreed personal terms with Jota Silva. Well, they are reports. Decentish player. You know what I mean? Jack Grealish 2.0, Wish version. Um, we will see what happens. We'll see what happens to that. We need a left-sided player. He's another winger that we've been linked with. Do you know what I'm saying? Attacking mid. So, yeah, we will see what happens with him. Fresh. Jimbo, have you been impressed with Moyes' punditry work at the Euros? You know what? I see something the other day on a podcast with him, was it Gary Lineker, Mick and Richards, there was Thomas Frank, Moyes and sort of an editor, and they was having a laugh, having a drink, and he was relaxed. And this is the thing that I will say, the geezer's not a monster, mate. Listen, whether you like him or you loathe him, the geezer's not a monster. The real fucking monster, and I'm going to say this quite passionately, the real cunt is the man who owns their club. That's the real monster. That's the real cancer of the club. I think when people were going over the top with Moyes last year, yeah, that's a frustration because they can't really get to Sullivan, so they go to Moyes. The difference is now there is nowhere to run now because Lopetegui's here, Steinen's here. who they're going to vent their frustration at now. It has to be Sullivan. It should always be David Sullivan. Always. And it shouldn't, your mind and your eye shouldn't wander to anyone else. It should be all on him, because he takes the piss out the fans, like he takes the piss out the locals, and now he's trying to like basically make West Ham really that we're customers rather than supporters. That fair enough. Customer number one don't want it. Customer number two will, and that's what it is. So the anger and the hatred and the cancer and the fucking monster is that geezer. Do you know what I'm saying? Because look what he's doing there. Do you know what I'm saying? As I always said, Moyes was an employee. That's what he is. Well, that's what he was. Now you took him out of employment at West Ham, and there's still people going around fucking loathing at him and like frothing him from the mouth and fucking going berserk because he says something that they take the wrong way. Get over it. It's done. You know what I mean? It's like, as I said earlier, it's like an ex-bird that you've seen with another man because you wasn't good enough. Do you know what I mean? Just get over it. It's over. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, that is my faults, by the way. No one else's, mine. So there you go. Steidten deserves at least this window. I think he deserves a bit more than that, but I think this window has to be spot on. You can't go from Mohamed Kudus, Alvarez, Ward-Prowse, and Mavropanos last year and end up with Guilherme, Thornton, and a completely different mix this year. It has to be the same, if I'm being honest. So yeah. I started positive about Tim, but I am getting more and more frustrated. Maltese hammer there, haven't he? So I get it. I do. I get it. Like, do you know what I'm saying? And it's. I think you'll know more in the next few weeks. As I say, like if the rumours are true that Jota Silva could be on his way to West Ham, then great. Okay, there's another one in the camp. But if that is the case and Jota Silva is the third one, then what is going on with the defence? Because the defence was the major problem last year, and we still haven't addressed it. Now, the only hope that I've got, right, this is me speaking, is basically that West Ham have already got deals lined up after the Euros. That's the only thing that I'm thinking, right, shut your mouth, James. There could be deals coming. Yeah, and they're already set in stone. And all they've got to do, once the Euros is done, they go on holiday, they come back, bang, sign a deal, West Ham player. That's the only hope that I've got. At present, it's a bit like that with people. No, I understand it. And it seems like if you say anything, if you question Steidten, you're a wrong one. You're a Moyes lover, or you're this or that. You're allowed to question the geezer, mate. Fucking hell. If you're going to praise him up to the hill and make him out to be Jesus, right, you can question him when you think, well, what's going on? Do you know what I'm saying? This geezer's like, he's an employee. He's got a job to do. So we've got to question him. Hoping this is a balanced answer. Yeah, I know, mate. I know. Let's get to Cockney's Murph. Not fussed about Tim. As long as he gets us decent signings, then all good. If they turn out duds, then bye. That little rat Sullivan pulls most of the strings anyway. He does, mate. He does. He really does. Sadly, he does, mate. I will say Steidten is spoken far too much. Let's be honest. Does anybody know the director of football at any other club? No, because nobody cares. But for some reason, he's seen as the main man here. I see Dan Ashworth's name mentioned quite a lot. I don't know where he's at now. Man United, Newcastle, wherever he is. I agree. I do agree with Alf on this. I do. Even though Alf is like the ghost now, Christmas past, and he doesn't come on this channel anymore. I do agree that we're bigging this geezer up. Oh, my thoughts are people are like raising the expectation of this geezer, and if he doesn't perform, then they're just gonna go what straight down. Right. So I get that. I get that. But as I say, you will know more after the summer's done. Once the summer's done, and obviously the first game of the season, really, if I'm being honest. I think, because when it doesn't shut to the end of August, beginning of September, I believe, yeah. The first game against Villa on August the 18th, 19th, I can't remember when it is, right? If that is the case, and we are still light, and we haven't really signed anyone of any note to say, right, these players have had a pre-season and everything, bosh, then questions will need to be asked, whether you like the answers or not. Do you know what I mean? Don't knock the question, right? Answer it. Do you know what I'm saying? That's one thing I'm going to tell people this season. Starting to run a couple more interviews. Fair enough. Buster's on it again. I love shout out to Buster. I love Moyes, but it's been a West Ham fan since my grandfather's rights. Yeah, I heard we've only signed League One Wes as his agent has links to Tim. Maybe a cash in the pocket deal for Steidten. Well, that's true. Harry Steidten ruining the club. He isn't ruining the club, but is he doing anything to really note that's warranted the amount of praise that he gets? The answer to that, for me, is no. Like he hasn't. He's not. This geezer's not like fucking Jesus Christ, mate, walking on water. Like, do you know what I'm saying? And he just simply isn't. If he goes out and goes and gets 5 top class players, and he brings in a centre half who's top class, and we start seeing it transforming, then listen, I'll be the first one to set a stream up on here, fucking plant his face as a thumbnail and say, Tim Steidten, well done, mate. Do you know what I mean? But I can't really praise this geezer up to the hill yet because there's not much that's happened this summer yet to warrant it. So, Euros and Copa America make it hard to do deals at the minute. If Tim is after players from them comps, I believe so. I believe there's players there that he's looked at, and he's apparently he was over in Germany. So, it's going to be interesting to see. But as I say, more in 3 weeks. In 3 weeks' time, the first pre-season game starts, and then off to America, West Ham go with a big following, and we'll go from there. We'll really go from there. So yeah, we'll see what happens. We will see what happens. Get your final questions in. I'm going to go for another 15 minutes. Anything you want to say, add, if you want to slag me off, you're more than welcome to. Do you know what I'm saying? And yeah, stick your questions in the chat while I have a drink. The question that I want to know is why Alfie's boycotting this channel because he's scared to come on here and have his say. That's what I want to know. Do you know what I mean? But I have spoke to Alf, and I'm going to say it on it while I wait for your sort of questions, if there is any. Alfie was wanting a break with the Moyes in, Moyes out thing. Yeah. And I'll be honest with you, last year it was getting that bad. Every time like West Ham would win a game, people would focus on Moyes rather than the result, and it was just getting completely out of hand. There was a time last year, and I say this openly, that I was that close to just shutting this down and fucking everything off and going, you know what, I don't need the grief. And I mean that close. It was literally a button away from deleting the channel and having a free life. But somebody just said to me, don't James, don't do it, because you regret it. And thankfully, one of the boys who does all the editing for this channel saved a lot of the stuff and sorted it all out. And he said to me, listen, you do your thing and it'll be fine. But yeah, listen, this season I'm just going to be a bit more placid. I'm going to do a lot of stuff on my own, mainly. It'll be Lucas, and if Alfie decides to come out of hibernation, him and Mitch will be here. Do you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I was very close last year to the edge and saying that fuck this off, but something pulled me back, which is good. Right, let's get to his comment. I'm a Tim Steidten man, but objectivity is important in life. If he fucks up this window, he's getting a lot of blame from me. I'm not deluded. Shout out to Snazzy. Contracts go up to June the 30th, so any free transfers will drop on July the 1st. We will wait for that. Dougie Freeman at Palace is a serious director for doing bits there. He does. James Fultz and Joey Essex on Love Island. Yeah, player, isn't he? Absolute player, mate. And yeah, he's making himself look all right, plum. I'm not gonna lie. Shout out to him. Right, let's get to this one. Euros, Copa America will definitely hold back transfers. Agreed. Yeah, I agree, mate. Alfred's too busy watching Love Island, obviously. I love you, James. Kiss, kiss. Thank you very much, mate. Clive is looking to move, and he's not going to be going to West Ham for next season, as what he told me before, because he's moving to Australia. So shout out to Clive moving to Australia. He's going big over there, and yeah, I'll be doing a like video with him at about 6 o'clock in the morning. So lovely. Let's get to this one. Fresh fielder. Are there any of the youngest players we're linked to that you think we should definitely go for? Uh, I think Jaden, like 22 years old at Hull, is a decent shout. I'm not really seeing anyone else of any note. Like really, like El Naziri, he's older. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's just one of them really. I'll take anyone. Anyone, just bring him here, and I'll feel easy then. That's what it is. I'm concerned at the minute because obviously Ben's gone. We need a covering right back. You see links. What I'm seeing is this. I'm seeing a lot of people leaving and very few people signing a deal and coming. And that's like that's the concern for me. If you go through the whole of our sort of defence, Ben's gone, Zuma could go, Aguirre could go, Emerson. I'm not being funny. Someone said it on the space to me for months, right? For absolute months. They turned around. They said to me, James, Emerson will be looking to go back to Italy. If Paqueta goes, Emerson's going back to Italy. And then you start seeing links to AC Milan. Now, if AC Milan come knocking and want to pay X amount of pounds for him, and he wants to go back to Italy, how can we stop him? Do you know what I'm saying? So I'm not seeing any links of players coming in as much. I'm seeing a lot of players who could possibly go, and I'm thinking, fuck me, I'm concerned here. Do you know what I mean? Now, if Jota Silva comes, then great. Yeah, it's another player, but we need to sort the bench out, and we need to sort this squad out sharpish and quick. Do you know what I'm saying? So yeah, right. Let's go run through these. James, what West Ham people have you met? Anyone on E20 and the other channels? I've met loads of people, mate. Like went out for a load of drinks with Alfie, Lucas, Mitch. Obviously, Mitch lives local to me. Me and Mitch have been out on the beer before. Um, I've not met Clive, but shout out to Clive. He's always been good. Obviously, I found him on Twitter, and he come on here, and he's been good as gold. Listen, do you know what I mean? I have anyone on this channel, and if they're good speakers and they speak well, they speak from there. That's the main thing with me. If you speak from the art, and I can feel that you're speaking from the art, and you're not just saying it like an echo chamber, then listen, I'll give you the platform to come and have your say. And if someone comes on and wants to have their say, they're more than welcome to. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't begrudge anyone coming on. And even if it's a person who's the most moist out person going from the past who wants to come on here, the link's there. I ain't gonna say no to you. I'll be shocked while you're here, but I ain't gonna say no to you. So there you go. But everyone does their own thing. Do you know what I mean? My thing's very raw. Do you know what I mean? I'm very sort of to the point, and I don't go with the crowd. Do you know what I mean? I go with myself, and that's what it is. So respect to Clive Rico, located for work or just trying something different. I don't know what it is, mate, but I think it might be for a bird if I got it right. But it is what it is. Shout out to him, mate. Big commitment. To Alfie, get back on E20. You have iron in your blood. Yeah, listen, Alfie's a good kid. I'm going to say this about Alf. Yeah, Alf's a good kid. I met Alf, and he's a young lad who was sort of struggling a little bit to a point because obviously he's in uni. He's trying to fucking save some dough, and I'll give him a few quid when we went out that night. I had a little touch on something, and I give him like 20 quid, like 20 or 30 quid, or I mean, what I'll give him. But I said, there you go, don't worry about it. Take that, that'll help you out. You know what I mean? 20 quid to a fucking young lad who's trying to make his way in life goes a long way. And I'm a pretty generous geezer. If I've got it, I share it. If I ain't got it, then there's not a lot else I can do about it. So that's just me. Alf has a lot to say, and I've always said that, but he yeah, you either love him or you don't. He's like Marmite, a bit like me. Do you know what I mean? I say something on Twitter and I get blocked or fucking unfollowed, like because all these people act like fucking birds. I'm not gonna lie, but it is what it is. So we'll just move on, crack on, and I would always crack on. Do you know what I mean? And that's what it is. So Alf's a good kid. He should come back on and do videos, but he's scared. So Jimbo, have you ever met anyone who you've watched your videos and what was the interaction like? I met someone on the train. Someone on the train, and I actually see Rob Nimmer on the train. And do you know when you recognise someone? Well, this was about a year ago, October last year. I remember it. I was on the train from here. I was in Suffolk and I was heading back to London. Um, and yeah, I was on the train and he was at Ipswich. And I went, I fucking recognise that geezer, man. Recognise him. Yeah, I went up to him and like I said, you fucking Rob Newman. And he went, yeah. And I went, thank you for Paqueta. Now I wish I never fucking said it. You know what I'm saying? I wish I never said thank you for Paqueta because he put us in the shit. But yeah, met him and I met someone on the train who said, like, are you that E20 bloke like from YouTube? And I was like, what do I expect? Do I expect the right hander coming my way, or do I expect someone to come up to me and fucking be polite? He said, I don't agree with what you say, but you know what? Fair play to you for putting yourself on there and doing it. And I was like, fair enough, mate. And I had to sort of, with me, I sort of get to the, let me word it right. I get to grips with what they don't like. Yeah, and I sort of explain myself. Now, what I say on here and what I say in person are two different things. Like, if I'm saying it to your face, I'm going to say, right, this is what it is, bush, bush, bush. And like, I sort of go through it. On here, I say something and people can take it 25 different ways. So, you know, and I also met Steve Anderson, his name is, yeah, from Canvey. I went to the pre-season friendly last year. I was sitting in the pub having a pint, and with me, I'm always on my phone fucking about with bets and things like that, or social media. And I've got my phone like that, and someone just stood right in front of me. So I looked up, and my mates around me said, James, do you know this fucking geezer or what? And I was like, looked up, all right, mate. And he went, yeah, are you James? I went, yeah. And then I thought again, like, what's it going to be? Is it going to be a right hander over the top, or is it going to be decent? And he was all right. He was all right. He got a lot of time for Lucas. He's an old school fan, lives out in Canvey Island. And yeah, listen, shout out to Steve, mate. Really nice bloke. So yeah. Do you know what I mean? I'm not in it for the fame, mate. I'm in it just to allow everyone to have their say on West Ham. You know what I'm saying? It's never about being the best on here. It's never ever been about that. Not once. It's always been about just being real to myself, coming on here, starting it with a load of lads, and working it in a way that I allow people to come on from all around the world. Literally all around the world, whether you're from fucking America, Australia, and having your say for a few minutes. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't think I'm not knocking any other channel because everyone, listen, what they do, every other channel, they do their bit. Trust me. Yeah. Whether you like them or you don't, they do their bit. And the way they do their editing and stuff and the way they present themselves, fair enough. But I try and allow anyone to come on here. And well, I do mean anyone. Do you know what I'm saying? So, and if they're polite to me, the boys, and they come on, have their say, and they speak well, then they come on again. And it's simple as that. And I'm not after, as I say, I've never been after trying to be the best. I'm just being E20. Do you know what I'm saying? So there you go. Um, right, what we've got here. Who on E20 most likely to be on Love Island or Big Brother? Now, Mitchell, fucking 100%. Listen, Mitch, I'll tell you a story about Mitch because I'm bored, yeah. She's working, so I might as well just fucking stay on this for a little while. I remember Mitch, yeah, applying for two shows. Oh no, one show he applied for, and one of them I think he'd be brilliant on. Yeah. What's that show on a Saturday night? Is it the 1% Club? The 1% Club. Mitch tried to apply on it, and yeah, he didn't get through, but he was well up for it. It's in Manchester, I think, right? The recording. So Mitch was trying to get on that. And the Traitors. Now Mitch and the Traitors would be fucking perfect. Yeah, we used to like when back in the day when we sort of first started sort of speaking, all of us, we used to play a game called Among Us, and the amount of rows I used to have with Mitch, I mean, and Alfie, right? Because like Among Us is a game that it's very deceitful. It's a bit like Traitors, like the program Traitors, yeah. And we used to do it on like a Discord and fucking just, oh man, I used to go mad. When one of them would kill me and everything, and it was just, yeah. Listen, Mitch definitely on there. I think Alfie's got the Love Island vibe. Well, Alfie's your typical Essex lad. Let's put it like that. That's what I'm going to say. He's just your typical Essex lad. Do you know what I mean? So Alfie for Love Island, Mitch, I'll say for Big Brother, right? And if I'll tell you what, if Mitch ever got on Traitors, mate, he would fucking win it. He's a slippery bastard, that geezer, but I love him. He's a top fucking bloke. Do you know what I'm saying? And do you know what? He gets a lot of he used to get a lot of hate, Mitch, on West Ham Fan TV. When he used to do the fan cams, I used to see the fan cam videos, yeah, all the time, and he used to get some fucking shit. Do you know what I mean? And when I met him, and we started doing stuff on here, I like him because he speaks from the heart. That's one thing with him. He just goes, bosh. All right, that's how I feel. All right, and he's sort of if he goes over the top, then he goes over the top, and that's how he feels. You know what I mean? I'm not going to censor the geezer for how he feels. So yeah. James, can you please some of the people all the time, but you can't please some of those people through saying, I agree, mate. I agree. Listen, this is a new season for me, right? Again, so I start with a fresh slate. Yeah, I don't look at anyone different. I just crack on, do my own thing. I'm doing the England stuff. Shout out to Matt, who comes on from the Back of the Net podcast. He comes on. He's been sort of my sort of co-pilot on this with the England stuff, and that's it. Like me, this is not the be all and end all of life. Do you know what I'm saying? And as I say, I'm never trying to be the best. I'm just trying to be E20. Now, people take me the wrong way, and they think that I have people on here who are bad influences. But at the end of the day, these are people that come on, have their say on this platform. Simple as that. Do you know what I mean? And if they've got something to say, they can come on this platform and have their say. Do you know what I'm saying? But there's a lot of ego. There's a lot of jealousy in this game and all. I'm not going to lie with certain things. Do you know what I mean? And everyone's trying to strive to the top. Now I'm happy to be mid. Do you know what I mean? E20 can be mid, right? But West Ham can't be mid. That's one thing I will say. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens in the near future. Right, I'm going to wrap that up there, ladies and gentlemen. Right, I want you to go and have a lovely day. The weather's been absolutely beautiful. I'm not going to lie. Lovely tan. I think is in order. And yeah, I'll be back. What is it now? Thursday. I'll probably be back Sunday. England yet again. Right. I watched it on the other day. I don't recommend you go and watch it because I was fucking livid. I'm not even gonna lie. When you get sucked into the England hype, yeah, you get done. And yeah, I got done quite a lot the other day. I'm not gonna lie on England, and it wasn't pleasant viewing. I will say that. So yeah, hopefully England versus Slovakia, I think it is, and we can get the job done and get through. Now, I'll tell you what, I will speak about that quick about the Euros before I round this up. Yeah, I think the draw has played into England's hands. Great. I'm going to be honest. Yeah, it really has. Now the pressure is firmly on Southgate. If the pressure wasn't on him already, the pressure's fucking 100% on him now. Literally 100%. Slovakia, then you've got the winner of Switzerland, Italy, and then you could possibly have either Austria, Holland, Romania, and who's the other one? There's someone else in there who England could get in their half. On the other side of the draw, it's basically a free-for-all. Germany, France have got Belgium, Portugal, and you know what I'm saying? I think France are good enough to get past all them teams, every single one of them, yeah, by hook or by crook. So it's going to be interesting to see. But hopefully Sunday we can get the job done, and then we can move on to the following Saturday, Switzerland or Italy versus England. So see what happens there. Right, I'm done, and I will see you in the next one. Take care of yourselves. I'm going to roll this new intro that I've got. Let me know what you think. Bye.